We are live a little bit late because we just watched the end of this incredible fucking game.
Are we going now?
Oh, we're live now. That was
All right.
fantastic.
Welcome into Half Distance Live. We just
Oh,
watched the
man.
touchdown throw from Matt Stafford to Marcus Robinson. Scotty Stats is going to help look up some stats for that game real fast because I obviously have not had a chance to write anything down. As always, we are your weekly barroom commentary NFL podcast. I am Matty Fax, joined by Scott the Stat, a.k.a. Scotty Stats, Brian the Chair, the Professor, whichever one you want to call him. And off camera, we got Pepe Le Piaducer, the great skunk hunter. We are here to bring you our thoughts on the NFL and also to, as always, remind people, fuck Joe Buck.
Fuck Joe Buck.
He is the worst.
God.
Okay, let's go ahead and start off with Sunday night's game. Oh, I'm sorry. Around here, if we have our favorite teams and our least favorite teams.
Oh.
If your team won today, you get to use your favorite team's koozie. If your team lost, you have to use your most hated team's koozie. I'm a Bears fan. I hate the Packers. Bears looked bad today against Cardinals. I get to use a Packers koozie. For the chair, he is a Broncos fan. One of the few teams that looked worse than mine today. He gets to use a Cowboys koozie.
I believe outside of the Raiders, one of the few teams. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
And then Mr. Staten is a Giants fan who hates the Patriots. He will be using a Patriots koozie, and that one's got to hurt a little more today, given the fact that the Patriots actually looked okay.
These don't work so well for whiskey glasses.
No, they do not.
Oh,
You should probably try beer.
I usually just
And for
shimmy
the Skunk
something
Hunter,
else in
he is a
there.
Bills fan, and they did pull off
Yeah.
the late win versus the Dolphins today.
62-yard field goal.
All right, 61-yarder. Get it
61, get it right.
right. All right, so
Could have gone for 70.
Thursday.
His record was 58, so it's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with Thursday night's game. The Texans went to New Jersey. Almost said New York. Take on the Jets, and they came away with a loss, 21-13. Stroud only had 191 yards passing, had one fumble. Joe Mixon had another really good game, 106 yards rushing and a touchdown. Tank Dell, 6 catches for 126 yards, and Robert Woods I thought he was retired. 2 catches for 44 yards.
fresh out of the grave.
The Jets, their defense got
It was
8
Halloween.
sacks on Stroud. They had a lot of pressure continuously. Aaron Rodgers, 211 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Brees Hall, 74 yards rushing. Devontae Adams finally had a game, 7 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson, 9 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one of the most amazing touchdown catches I've seen in a while. Because if you don't know, 1 shin equals 2 feet. On the other hand, there was something that was almost my just the worst, but I decided not to go with it. Malachi Corley, rookie wide receiver, really well known for his ability with the ball after the catch in college. I believe it was an end around he got. Really nice run to the end zone where he inexplicably pulled a Deshaun Jackson and dropped the ball before it actually crossed the end zone.
Yep.
Now,
We talk about this all the time in college for college games. No. This is professional level.
I don't get how that is still a thing.
I don't get how
Like-
you don't hand the football to the referee after
Just
you
to
enter
make
the end
sure,
zone. Yeah.
it crossed the plane.
Like, we're all a bunch of losers, but if we ever scored a touchdown, we would just here you go, sir.
Or you, or
no,
you,
I would not even give up the ball. It would be
Yeah.
going to the sideline.
or
with
it's
me.
you're spiking it down. Yeah, like come on.
how is that touchdown? It never made any sense to me. When Deshaun did it, I thought that would be the one and only time it ever fucking happened.
Because he's so fast.
But that was so fucking long ago,
And
too.
we're not
How is it
fast.
still happening?
How it hasn't been coached out of players at this
Oh,
point, I
God.
truly don't understand. I don't want to overshadow the fact here, though. This is a great win for the Jets, who they needed
Yeah,
this win.
yeah.
Like,
Against
they're going to
a
have to
good
win
team,
out basically to have a chance at the playoffs. But this was a really good team.
I mean, again,
Win.
missing a lot of pieces, but
The Texans are missing a lot at wide receiver
Offensively, yeah.
between Stephon Diggs' injury,
Yeah.
no Nico Collins
Yeah.
back yet. So Tank Dell is their number 1 right now. He's not your typical number 1 wide receiver.
No.
He's about 5'8", 5'9".
and it's hard to be the number one when you don't have a 2 or 3.
Could
you
we get an
know?
honest question? Gun to your head, where do you think Stephon Diggs is playing next season?
No idea.
Yeah.
Kansas City on a very cheap proven
Yeah,
deal.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One more year, and then he'll be in KC.
He's on a 1-year deal.
No,
So
he'll
what-
play for another team for a year, and then KC. Once he gets his head a little more straight, then he'll go to KC.
Okay.
And one
And then
more
he'll
year
win a Super
removed
Bowl.
from actually
and,
being
and
good.
then he'll beat Buffalo in the playoffs. So, yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Um,
hilarious.
Now, as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, this was a good game on his part. And Devontae Adams and he look like they've got that connection back. And they're basically running the same offense they did in Green
Yeah.
Bay because he did bring everybody else that he liked from Green Bay with him. So honestly, I don't understand why this wasn't happening from the go with them.
Well, but it seems to be the trend where you fire your coach and your next game goes well. You look good.
Yeah.
You look good just on like, we're all just trying to figure it out, everyone. I don't know. Kumbaya, let's get it. I don't know why that always seems to be the case.
That even was the Panthers case a couple of years
Yep,
ago.
I know
so,
it. Right,
yeah.
right. That's the only way they win games is firing coaches. So can they continue with
Was
it?
Canales fired before today?
Oh, that would have been trippy as shit. No,
Yeah.
2 years ago, Panthers. 2 years
Yeah.
ago, yeah.
yeah. No,
When
but
Lego McCaffrey fired the coach, then they fucking won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
can they keep it together? Can they play at that level all the
Yeah.
time? We were worried about them at the start of the season, so we know that the danger is real.
Yep. They have some talent.
Yes.
They really do.
They just need the coaching to be there.
And I'm not gonna say like it's all Rodgers' fault for not being part of like mini camp, for not being part of all the
It didn't help.
unmandatory and then the mandatory. But it's certainly like when you're playing with a team you've never really fucking played with, you should get as many fucking reps as possible with your teammates. Like
Agreed.
I don't care if you're the greatest quarterback of all fucking time, which he is definitely not. You need to do that with different players.
Yeah.
They got to feel how you throw the ball. They got to feel what your read is for the field. Your O-linemen need to get a feel for which ways you tend to want to run,
Exactly.
All that shit makes a difference.
And when things aren't going well, as they really haven't been this season, and the fingers are getting pointed, right? And you start saying, "Oh, but you didn't do this, and you didn't." Whether it was really the had any real effect, him missing those camps or not. Now you're saying, "But I question you." Maybe it had, but now it has an impact
Yeah.
because you are questioning it. So what might not have been a real thing is real now. There's no doubt about it. But hey, it is a good win for them for sure, Matt.
It was.
I agree.
It definitely was.
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. On the other side, though, the Texans, they don't play well on the road. Stroud's had some really big struggles on the road so far this year. He had one game with 84 yards passing. This game, only 191, and then that fumble that was lost.
The Texans are not the juggernaut that they had the ability to
No,
be this
and
year.
in
End
fact,
of
the
last
fact that they're
season,
playing in the
yeah.
AFC South might be the only real reason at this point that I still have complete faith in them making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
will still totally make the playoffs,
Yes.
but because of their division.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's really hard to find good Tex-Mex in New Jersey, so. I
Boy, that ain't
I
no
understand
joke
Steve
there,
Aaron
sir.
struggling,
No kidding. The Dolphins traveled to Buffalo, a place of nightmares for them. I don't think they've actually won there in almost a decade.
I don't think Tua's ever won in Buffalo.
Yep, and they lost 27-30 today. A 61-yard field goal by the Bills at the end of regulation to win it. Tua, 231 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Devon Achane had a great game. 63 yards rushing and a touchdown, 8 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 4 for 80. And Waddle, 2 catches, -4 yards,
and a touchdown.
and a touchdown.
That math ain't
That math is weird.
That's like the whole Jerome Bettis for like 1 yard and 3
Yeah.
touchdowns kind of thing.
3 carries,
But not
1
nearly
yard,
as
3
impressive,
touchdowns.
yeah.
Like, how? For the Bills, Josh Allen, 235 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Cook, 44 yards rushing. Ray Davis, 20 yards rushing, 2 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 6 catches for 50 yards. I don't doubt the Bills' offense at all. They can run the ball. They're passing the ball well, even with Amari Cooper injured right now.
And we still don't know how he fits into that offense.
We
either,
don't.
you
We
know?
don't at all yet. I don't really know what the Dolphins are at this point. I think Tua still doesn't look really sharp on the field. However, with that massive concussion he got, I'm not too surprised by that. I just don't know. My only question mark with the Bills at this point right now is, can that defense maintain a level of play that keeps them going deeper into the playoffs? Because they are going to make the playoffs. That is, if the
Squeaks is over here shaking his head.
they are going to make the playoffs. That is
Yes.
their division.
But you
They're,
were screaming.
they're going to make the playoffs. They will lose in the playoffs, and when they lose in the playoffs, it will be because of the defense. So
I mean, it's not really their fault at this point. Like, before the season, like, that Josh Allen contract, and you have to pay these quarterbacks a lot, meant that they had to get rid of both of their starting safeties because of the salary. The Stephon Diggs wasn't so much about the salary because that's still on their books,
Yep, yep.
but because of how it fit in with the entire team. I think they're gonna win this division. I don't see how anyone is gonna catch them.
But
can we do trust tree?
they're ready for Milano to come back
Oh my God, they
Oh,
need him back
yeah,
so bad.
yeah.
He is such a good player.
Yeah.
Could we do a trust tree real quick before you keep going? Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback in the league, so like, you have to pay him.
I don't know why that's such a
Why is
secret
that
that
a
we're in the
trust
trust
tree?
tree.
Wait,
That's
well,
a well-known
'cause
fact.
Matt-
No. I only bring it up because that's why these moves have to be made.
Like, you have
that's-
to pay him.
This is why
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs have so many young players starting for them every year because Mahomes' contract is so fucking massive.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have a quarterback of that level.
Yeah.
But that's about the adaptation, and can you actually move forward with it? Like in the next draft, yeah, they're going to need safeties. They're probably going to need another linebacker because Milano can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And there's free agent moves also. I don't know how much space they're going to have. Everyone has more than the Saints, who are going to be like $85 million above the cap
Could I
already.
do one last side note? James Cook is really good.
He is.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't even use him that much today.
Well,
Yeah.
because Davis is turning into a great player.
An older rookie, but a really good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's hard to fall off at 30 when you're already 26, right? The Broncos traveled to Baltimore. This was pretty ugly. The Ravens won this one 41-10. Bo Nix did not have a bad game. 223 yards passing, 1 interception at 36 yards rushing. He also had 1 catch for 2 yards for a touchdown. Javonte Williams led him with 42 yards rushing, and Cortland Sutton had 7 catches, 122 yards, and 1 pass for 2 yards for a touchdown.
A
for Bo Nix.
touchdown! Yeah.
For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, second verse, same as the first. 280 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, don't steal my thunder, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers, that's my thunder, 5 catches for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Justice Hill just coming in, 15 yards rushing, 3 catches, 43. The Ravens did whatever they really wanted
Yep.
to
Yeah.
on offense.
Yep.
And this is
Yep.
Yeah.
this is with Deontay Johnson not even really playing today.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it. The Ravens. I mean,
Are they the favorites right now? Are the favorites to go against the Chiefs for the Super Bowl?
I think so. Well, and that's crazy because
To
like
get
I
to the
don't.
Super Bowl,
I don't
obviously.
think the
Yeah,
Chiefs
yeah.
are playing like a Super Bowl team.
Their defense is.
They are not.
Their
but they-
defense is,
But they
right.
still refuse to lose.
But they refuse
Yeah.
them exactly.
And until they
Right.
actually lose, I have to call them the favorite,
I-
as they
yeah.
are. They're the
Right.
2-time defending champ.
Yeah, I agree. And then, but the Ravens, like they're just, and I get it, Brian. I'm sorry, earmuffs, but they should have stomped on the throat of Denver. I mean, like, and that's what they did. Like the good team should be winning handily, and that's exactly
They
what they're
should
doing.
be,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So the script is there. Like they're a really good fucking team.
The
Holy
Broncos
shit.
are 1 win shy of what I thought they would get all season. So I am not unhappy with my
right.
team at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Nor should
thing
you be. They've
about
actually
this
played
game-
quite well this
Right.
season.
But this game, like, everything the Broncos have been doing well fucking fell apart. Fell apart. Like, and again, every team has injuries. They had some major injuries as well that have been ongoing. But, like, their defense was garbage. Their offensive line was garbage. Bo Nix put up a pretty decent game in spite of all of that. And, like, to just get trashed like that. I mean, yeah, the Ravens are clearly a far superior team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect a 41-10 fucking drumming like that. And it was, it was 34 or whatever before they started putting in all their backups. And they still couldn't score. It was like, Jesus, guys. You just fucking fell apart in this game.
It was one of those ones where, similar to my team today, it was just, to me, it was almost like quicksand. No matter what they did, it wasn't the
Yep.
right move
Yep.
for that play, and the other opposing team had the perfect call.
Yep.
And it didn't matter what happened. Everything went wrong.
And, like, I don't dislike the Ravens, so it wasn't awful. But, like, when every single play, even a play that fell apart for the Ravens, were like, you guys found a way out of this by working fucking together. All of you are on the same fucking page. None of you are doing like, well, this is my job. I'm only going to pay attention to this part of my job. It was a beauty thing to watch. It really was. It sucked as a Broncos fan.
They
but it
are
was-
a good team, and Lamar Jackson, I cannot believe this. He's got to be like one
He's
of the
about to
top
win it.
MVP candidates.
He's
right
about to
now.
win
Again,
his third
he's got
MVP.
to, yeah.
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 I hope
Yeah.
he doesn't, but he wins a fucking soupy.
I'm gonna
Like,
say
if they can, if they can take,
You think it's Soupy?
I think they could. If
I
they
think,
played like they played today,
running
they
games-
can easily take
Running games
the
travel
Chiefs.
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
it gets cold. And Derrick
and
Henry,
defense. Yeah.
my God, that team is. I mean, it is pick your poison. You
Yeah.
want to
Alright.
stack the box,
Could-
stop
could
Derrick
I-
Henry. Good luck.
could I
'Cause Lamar Jackson
Just
is
to
gonna
throw
kill
a
you.
caveat at you, Lamar does not show up in the playoffs.
Yet.
Historically.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I know it's a small sample
Peyton
size.
Manning didn't show up in the playoffs for a long time, too.
Yep. You got to.
Yep.
It's a food for thought thing.
I'm
Yep.
not
Oh,
arguing
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
you've done it, you cannot say that he's going
Kirk
to.
Cousins already proved he can play primetime this season.
There we go, yeah.
Why not Lamar in
Right.
playoffs
Yeah.
this season?
There you
know?
go. The LA Chargers traveled to Cleveland, and Jameis Winston giveth and giveth the ball away.
Giveth and giveth.
Justin Herbert had 282 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins 85 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Quentin Johnston starting to look like a first-round draft pick finally. 4 catches, 118 yards, a touchdown. He's been out with injury. This was a great game back for him. Ladidi McConkey. Madonky? I don't even know what we want to call him.
Nicky.
Ladidi Mickey Nicky?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 catches for 64. Incredible game by, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, linebacker out of USC, Tua Paluto. 6 tackles, 5 solo, 2.5 sacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a game. However, let me just bring this up because Jameis Winston, 235 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Still look better than Deshaun Watson. Nick Chubb, 39 yards rushing. Cedric Tillman, second-year wide receiver, 6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Cedric.
Is that Cedric?
Jerry
Is that-
Judy, 7 catches for 73. And Myles Garrett was like, 2.5 sacks. Fuck you. 5 tackles, 4 solo, 3 sacks.
But it's Miles fucking Garrett.
Yeah,
Come
but
on, you
even
know?
with him doing that, they gave up 27 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is playing lights out football right
Yep.
now for the Chargers.
Yeah.
on Friday, Bruce Arians was interviewed on Pardon My Take when he was the Tampa Bay coach, and it was before they got Brady, and they propositioned him with, "Did you know Jameis needed LASIK eye surgery?" And he said no. We just rolled with it, and
Jesus.
like Jameis never offered that up. All the interceptions to linebackers, and I was just like, "That's the most Jameis thing I've ever heard
Yeah.
in my life."
Yeah.
Vision's kind of important.
Yeah.
That Jameis Winston's quote was,
I didn't even know Bruce Arians was white.
he goes, I thought
Yeah,
Bruce
I
Arians
thought
was
he was
black.
black. He also said that, and yeah, so they're interviewing Bruce Arians before Brady, and he's just like, "Yeah, I needed LASIK. I couldn't see linebackers."
I mean, listen, a man as dark tanned as he is, with his pure white beard, the contrast is there. I get it.
yeah,
His name is Bruce Arians.
No, Jesus Christ.
but it's just it's
I
such.
mean, I'm glad he said it.
You
I
don't
was
need
sitting
Vision
there with
to
that
know
in
he's
my
white.
head, and I was like, I don't know. Scott really gets sketchy this.
It's such a Jameis story. I didn't tell the coach I needed LASIK, and then I got LASIK, and then I could see linebackers.
How bad is NFL fucking vision?
Yeah,
Bad.
They don't have good health care? You know?
The Saints, they started the season 2-0, guys.
They sure
They're
did.
2-7 now. They lost to the Panthers today, 23-22.
They didn't just start
Panthers.
2-0.
They dominated the first 2 weeks.
They were. It was
Oh, what
terrifying.
the fuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say Chris Olave got knocked out in the first quarter. It was a very hard hit. I watched the replay. It didn't look like a dirty hit. He is
No.
moving all his extremities. He was carted off. He will be flying home with the team. But Carr, 236 yards passing and a touchdown. Kamara had a monster game. 155 yards rushing, 6 catches for 60 yards. Taysom Hill, asshole, stealing touchdowns from Kamara. Had 19 yards
but it
rushing and a
works.
touchdown.
It works.
And 4 catches for 41 yards. Juwan Johnson, 2 catches for 41 yards. For the Panthers, Bryce Young, 171 yards passing, a touchdown interception. Chuba Hubbard, 72 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Rookie Jatavian Sanders, a tight end out of UT, 4 catches for 87. And Xavier Leggett, 4 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. I cannot believe given how the Saints started,
2-0.
are they actually going to be in last place in the NFC South at the end of the year?
It's very possible.
I mean,
They're so bad.
It's very
And
possible.
the other thing is, they're this bad, and they are $85 million over next
Yeah.
year's cap
yeah,
already. And they just gave Kamara a big 2-year extension.
But he's clearly the only one that's fucking worth it.
Absolutely.
you can't. Yeah, but at the same time, what the narrative has been, running backs are a dime a dozen. I think there's someone like him that is
Alvin
a
Kamara
difference
got
maker.
me 30 points this week in fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you've got hands like his and you can use him as that dual threat,
Yep.
I get it. You pay him, but he's gonna run out of steam real soon. He's had enough injuries out there. They're gonna accumulate. I think you pay him. At the same time, you got no money for anyone else.
No.
And like this game though, like neither team put any real pressure on the quarterback the entire game. Like neither team did. There's maybe a sack apiece, but very few touches, almost no knockdowns. Like, and the score was that shitty against the Panthers.
Yep.
Like what the
Score so
fuck,
bad.
you know?
And, the thing is also, like, their head coach, he should be fired after this season. But who in the name of God wants to come in and take on a team with that salary cap? Hell, I'm willing to bet he will be their head coach again next year, Dennis Allen, just to get through this salary cap shit, and then he will be gone and never
Yeah.
heard from again in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Who is the most recent Texas high school football coach that might want to play in the pros?
I don't know.
They might pull from that.
Maybe.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
All right.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
That's the Saints.
The Vegas
right there.
Raiders.
They're Panthers, not Cougars.
The Las Vegas Raiders traveled to Cincinnati and got their asses handed to them. Gardner Minshew, they lost 41-24. Gardner Minshew had 124 yards passing. Desmond Ridder came in at one point and had 74 yards passing and a touchdown. Doesn't say a whole lot if Ridder gets a touchdown and you don't. Alexander Madison, 36 yards rushing. Jacoby Myers did have 8 catches for 105 yards. And Brock Bowers, I say it every week, continues his amazing rookie season. 5 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow, 251 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Chase Brown, 120 yards rushing, 5 catches, 37 yards, and a touchdown. Mike Gesicki, 5 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, I know what you're thinking. Must be a monster game. No, 7 catches, 43 yards.
I think you glossed over fucking tight end Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, right.
Well, he always shows up once a year.
20 yards a catch?
For
What
what
the
he shows
fuck,
up once
you know?
a year for whatever team he's on. Makes you think,
Yep.
should I pick him up in fantasy? And the next week you're like, nope, should not have done that.
Maybe the Dolphins should have kept him.
Perhaps. Perhaps. The Bengals are starting to look like the
Who they
team we thought
should
they
look
should
like,
be.
yeah.
That started off very poorly this year, but they seem to always start slow.
If they can do this, and granted, the Raiders suck. The Raiders' defense is
Yeah.
garbage for the most part, you know?
Right.
Not garbage.
Minus-
They're really bad.
Max Crosby's so
Minus,
good,
like,
though.
yeah, I mean, that's a huge
That-
miss.
that
That's a
is one of
huge
those-
miss, you know?
Like, his career is being wasted
Yeah.
because he's so fucking good.
Yeah, he's the
And-
Myles Garrett of the AFC West.
Yeah. Matt's
Yeah,
right. Like,
yeah.
just put him on any competent team. Yeah.
But, like, even a not fully healthy Bengals offense, this is the expected outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no T. Higgins today.
Yeah, and, like, why can't you be doing this all season long? Like, what the fuck is the
Right.
brain fucking
And
Cincinnati?
like, I think we can
you know?
collectively agree that Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. And off of like unfiltered, Pat Mahomes has said Max Crosby is so fucking good, and just like
Yeah.
he is just
Yeah.
being wasted in Raider uniform. Yeah.
Well, when he becomes a free agent at some point and they're done giving franchise tags, he can figure out where he wants to go when he's 42.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, if he likes the AFC West, he can go to Denver.
Very true. The Washington Commanders went to New Jersey to take on the Giants and won 27-22. Jaden Daniels, 209 yards passing, 2 touchdowns to go with 35 yards rushing. Chris Rodriguez was their leading rusher with 52 yards. Austin Eckler had another 42 and a touchdown. Noah Brown, 5 catches for 60 yards. Terry McLaurin, only 2 catches for 19 yards, but they went for 2 touchdowns, so pretty good first half for him. The Giants, Daniel Jones had 174 yards passing and 2 touchdowns to go with 54 yards rushing and a touchdown. Tyrone Tracy, 66 yards rushing. Malik Neighbors, all in the second half, I believe, 9 catches for 59 yards. With Theo Johnson, 3 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. I wrote this down just because I was astounded, again, by the math of it. Kind of like the 2 catches for -4 for a touchdown. Daniel Jones in the first half, 50 yards rushing. Awesome. He was 4 of 6 for 0 yards and a touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson had a -6 yard catch that took away his positive yardage, but those numbers just really confused me when I saw them the first time.
A spirited run in the second half to play catch up, and I had my hopes up for just a little bit, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" But not against Washington. God damn it!
They played with so much heart at the end of that game. Like, I mean, I would say like halfway through the third to the end, like they didn't have a bad game. Like Daniel
Honestly,
Jones
the slow
didn't-
first half did more than anything else to hurt them, I think.
Like Daniel Jones had 5 or 6 incomplete passes. That's good. That is progress for Danny Dimes. You know, it really is. And he has some great fucking bombs. Like 2 just really good ones. Well placed into double coverage. Well placed, good fucking throws. It's good. You want to see that. I mean,
He also trucked 2 defenders on the goal line.
and like
Which I'm sure they won't get made fun of in film at all.
Washington
He's
is
a big
good
boy.
team. They lost. They effectively shut down Jane Daniels.
Yeah.
They really did. And like no one has done that all fucking
No,
season.
their defense is solid. If they
They-
could get more production
like
consistently,
just a little bit more consistency, you know?
Because
Even
Tyrone
with what
Tracy
they have, you
is
know?
definitely a better running back than Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is a really solid second running back. He shouldn't be your starter.
No,
That's been
no.
proven. Tyrone Tracy, though, is showing he has what it takes to be a starter.
Oh, they should get Saquon Barkley.
They should. They should see if he's available. But it won't cost much.
Nah.
Fuck you all! Well, yeah, but what's he even doing in Philadelphia anyways?
We'll go over that soon.
Beating the Giants.
The Cowboys traveled to Atlanta, and they lost 27-21. Dak Prescott had 133 yards passing and a touchdown. Did leave the game
Yep.
with a right hand injury and I believe it was either a hamstring or a knee injury. Cooper Rush came in, threw for 115 yards and a touchdown. Rico Dowdle, 75 yards rushing, 5 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. Tight end Ferguson, 7 catches for 71 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 8 catches for 47 yards. And Tolbert, 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. For the Falcons, Cousins had 222 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson, 86 yards rushing, 7 catches for 59 yards. Tyler Algier got in for a touchdown. Drake London, 2 catches, 27 yards, touchdown. Had to leave the game with a hip injury.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney picked up for him, 5 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And Ray McLeod, 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown. The Cowboys needed this win. They needed to win this game. And they're going to be looking up at the Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders now. And I don't know if they're going to have to beat them in all their head-to-heads to really be able to get back
They
into
have
this
to.
division.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know if they can do that. Their defense has so many injuries.
There was a lip reading moment on the sidelines with Dak Prescott, where he literally said, "We're terrible."
Yeah,
No.
they are.
Oh, man. You know what's funny? Cooper Rush played almost as many snaps as him and was a far better quarterback. Not a single sack when Cooper Rush had the ball.
Where is he? Is he still sitting behind Dak?
Yeah. He played today. Nearly half the game.
Oh,
And put
yeah,
up
right. 'cause
Almost the
Dak went
same
out, yeah,
stats
yeah.
as Dak.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
get sacked at all.
Right.
And they are garbage. But again, the Falcons are a good team. Like, the Cowboys needed to win this week.
Right.
Could they have beaten the Falcons today? Probably not. You know?
Could we
Clearly they didn't,
collectively
you know?
agree that we don't like Stephen A. Smith that much?
Oh, yeah.
But when he dunks on the Cowboys, it
Well,
makes my mind.
I'm all for that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the best.
I will go back, though. Micah Parsons, Bland,
so good.
and Diggs all out in this game. Those are your
Yeah,
three,
that's some-
probably
those
your
are
best
massive
defensive
losses.
players. Those are
Yeah.
huge holes on your
Yeah.
defense to try to
Yeah.
cover.
Huge
Um,
flaws.
It just until they get some of these pieces back on defense, it's going to be a little ugly for the Cowboys. I think.
Well, like Jerry Jones saying earlier this week on that podcast that he hates and loves at the same time, that, you know, I didn't think we'd be this bad at this point. Like, maybe stop interfering with the way a team is run and just be a fucking owner.
Might be a good thing to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fire your GM.
The Patriots traveled to Tennessee. They lost in overtime, 20-17. The chair sitting next to me picked that game to be a tie, and he almost had
Oh,
it.
so close. Oh, I got
Drake
the
May
overtime.
continues a pretty good rookie year. 206 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 95 yards rushing. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries for 16 yards, but did get a touchdown. He also had 5 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Henry, 7 catches for 56. Keyshawn Booty.
Booty.
Bourne in this case, 4 for 41. For the Titans, Rudolph, 240 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and interception. Tony Pollard, 128 yards rushing. Calvin Ridley, 5 catches for 73. Westbrook Akine, 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. And Vanette, 2 catches, 33 yards and a touchdown. I mean, neither of these teams are going to go to the playoffs. So really, this is more about what are you building for the future, in my opinion.
Listen, Drake May, we were talking about it before the show a little bit. Drake May is looking like he belongs in the NFL. He made mistakes today. Don't, you know.
It's his third start.
Yeah, right.
On a garbage team.
But
Yeah.
you can see that the parts and pieces are there, and they need it so badly. They need someone they can rally behind, and having him sit those first few games to now get some more game experience out there. I know they talked about him sitting the whole first season.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like, why not? You got to get out there and go. So
I don't know how Matt's going to feel about this, love it or hate it. The way he played today reminded me of Trubisky.
His rookie year.
I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know. It seemed like a very Trubisky kind of game.
He's a more athletic guy than you expect.
Yep.
He's
Maybe
able
that's
to
what
get
it is
rushing
too.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing pretty well so far.
He's like Josh Allen size. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Bears went to Arizona and got throttled by the Cardinals, 29-9. Caleb Williams, 216 yards passing. Swift, 53 yards rushing. Roma Dunze, 5 catches, 104 yards and a touchdown, and a couple badly timed drops. Keenan Allen, 4 catches for 35 yards and a really badly timed drop. DJ Moore, 4 catches, 33 yards. I believe he also had a bad drop.
And a really bad time, Joe.
Yeah, it was ugly when I was actually able to watch some of it. I was like, it would help if you caught the ball, guys.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray only needed 154 yards passing today and not much else.
That's the worst part.
Connor, 107 yards rushing. DeMarcado, 59 yards rushing and touchdown. The Cardinals put up 213 rushing yards on the Bears today. The Bears were without Montez Sweat and a couple key defenders, but, man, the Cardinals ran all over them. Benson, another 37 yards rushing and touchdown. Trey McBride, 3 catches for 35 yards. Higgins, 2 catches for 34 yards. Before I talk about the Bears, I just want to say the Cardinals, we had said before, they're frisky. They will play hard. Their head coach has them believing in themselves.
Yep.
And they did all this without really having to pass the ball, without getting Marvin Harrison very involved.
At all. Yeah.
This is sorry, Matt. This is exactly what you need if you're a Cardinal. Mm-hmm. You know, to just really whoop up on a team. Mm-hmm.
Especially a team that's kind of up and coming.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Or people thought were.
Yep.
They were 4-2. They're now 4-4. So
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
I mean, the Cards are a good team.
But they were 4-3 coming into today. Last week was the Hail Mary.
Yep.
I mean,
and
like
today they get run over.
So I mean, like that was definitely a 50-50. But yeah. They're you can't overlook them. That's for sure.
But I mean, Caleb Williams is a fairly mobile, big quarterback. And when they sack him
Well, he's
6
more than
times,
fairly
something
mobile.
like that. I mean, he's not Jaden Daniels mobile.
Yeah.
You know.
To me, the biggest question here is Matt Eberflus losing the locker room. They did bench Tyreek Stevenson for the first couple drives of this game.
As they should.
As they should have. The problem is, when they informed him of this in practice this week, he left the practice field. Which apparently did not go over very well with veterans on that team.
It should not either.
Yeah, so.
Could I raise the Bears question?
Yeah, sure.
Matt Eberflus is likely going to get fired at the end of the season.
Yeah, the Lions need to really hope that their offensive coordinator doesn't want to leave and coach Caleb
Okay,
Williams.
so if you're the Bears front office, last year you're drafting Caleb into a situation where you know you're probably going to fire the coach. Why not just bring in a new coach who you think is the future, versus making Caleb Williams have to learn 2 playbooks in 2
No,
seasons?
brand new coach with brand new quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a tough combo.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? Where Caleb Williams is likely going to have a new coach, if it's not this year, in the foreseeable future, where just like he's not going to be in position to succeed.
Well, there is
in a position to succeed, but like he's going to have a new offensive scheme in his first 2 or 3 years.
Well, you can also hope there was a lot of moves going on with the Bears. There was a lot of hope that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy. He still is the guy.
I'm not saying he's not the guy.
But not making that coaching change, I can understand that. But also, even if the front office is thinking like, all right, Eberflus is probably on his last legs, unless a miracle happens this season, you can still let Caleb Williams get that game speed experience before you make the change. And there's a lot of value to that first season playing in that. And now it's time. Now you've adapted to the game. Now you adapt to a new playbook going 1-2 like that. Right. I can see that thought process.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying, if you're the number 1 overall pick, if you're bringing him in and you know the writing is on the wall with Eberflus, You're just like,
I don't think they knew it was because the defense last year ended very strongly.
Yep.
They had all these offensive weapons that they brought in. They didn't improve the offensive line enough, obviously.
They trusted him enough to trade away their quarterback.
right. I'm just saying,
Yes.
like if
Like,
you're Caleb
yeah.
Williams and you're gonna have a new playbook in the first two of the first 3 seasons, like that's not fun. Like you're
No,
trying to get your
no.
feet
No,
wet.
yeah.
like,
right,
it's,
right.
Justin Herbert dealt
Yeah.
with it,
But you know what?
and he threw for an extra 1,000 yards next year. He had
Yeah,
5,000 yards
yeah.
in the second season, learning a new playbook.
Right, but it's not ideal, is what I'm saying.
No.
Oh yeah.
I know, and as far as Eberflus goes, it's if you look within the division in the last couple of years, the Lions in 2022 started 1-6, ended 9-7. If he can somehow end on a streak, and it's going to be tough because they have after
Oh,
next
yeah.
week the toughest schedule
it's a
in
gauntlet,
football
yeah.
between all of their division games that have not occurred, in addition to Seattle and San Francisco. I'm not saying it will fall apart, but he's going to have to get that locker room
Yeah.
Oh, they got the Pats next week
really
though,
focused.
and then it's downhill from there.
Yeah, then it's the Packers.
You get
and then
one.
the Vikings.
You
Then
get
it's,
one.
then it's the gauntlet after
get
that.
one.
Yeah.
So, since Scotty Stats asked what Saquon Barkley was up to, the Jags traveled to Philadelphia and lost to the Eagles 28-23. Trevor Lawrence, 169 yards passing, 2 interceptions, 8 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 24 yards rushing. Tank Bigsby, 22 yards rushing. When it's just one of them, it seems to work out. When it's both of them, it doesn't seem to work out very well at all. Evan Ingram, 5 catches for 45 yards. Parker Washington, 3 catches for 41 yards. Trayvon Walker did have a touchdown fumble return in this game off of a Barkley fumble. However, for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, 230 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 66 yards rushing, and a touchdown. Barkley, 159 yards rushing, and a touchdown. 3 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. Devonta Smith, 4 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 2 catches for 36 yards. He got knocked out with an injury. I'm surprised the Jags scored this much. The
Yep.
fumble return for a touchdown and the 2-point conversion, they got helped. The Eagles' defense is not
No.
anything close to what it was
No.
2 years ago.
Yep.
No.
They started off well last year and they had an utter collapse, and they have not found themselves.
And I'll tell you what, it's pissing me right the fuck off. And I almost hate saying that, like, we need the Commanders because the fucking Cowboys, like, are a threat. And Philadelphia should be the ones that could absolutely keep them out of the playoffs.
First blood.
But I'm gonna blame. I'm holding Philadelphia accountable if Dallas makes it to the playoffs. Not that Dallas is gonna do
Because
anything,
they
but but they shouldn't.
Because the Eagles and the Commies should
Yes.
eliminate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Threw
Yes.
it right to the linebacker. Oh my
Is this
God.
the second week in a row that a Saquon fumble led to a tutty?
Yeah,
Oh, it could be.
I think so.
Could be.
Like that was last week, right?
Yeah.
Or
The
at least
season
2 in
goes.
3 weeks. You know.
And it's funny because he's got such good hands. He had a great leaping catch into the end zone, like tapping toes and everything, like a fucking wide receiver out there. And you still just do a regular old fumble. What are you doing?
Yep. Yep.
I make it sound like it's so easy.
This could be a good wake up for the Eagles, like to almost lose. Like it wasn't like you see the box score. It wasn't like the Jags put up 13 points in garbage time.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, no, this is a close fucking game. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And if they can take that as a learning experience, like stop fucking around, you know.
But also the fact that the game was over because the Jags were 13 yards from the end zone when Trevor Lawrence threw an interception.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what ended the
They
game.
were that close to a fucking loss.
Yes. Yes.
And then they just ran out the clock.
Yep.
Like, you don't want to beat the Jags like that. What the
Right.
fuck, you
right.
know?
Right.
I mean, a win is a win.
To watch.
A win is a win, but
Yeah.
signs of problems.
Take the right lessons from this win.
Yes.
Please,
Like you
know?
can't tell me that the Jags. Well, yep, that sucks to lose, but that's the moral victory. You got to be like, yeah, we're hanging our heads in the locker room, but it's also like, come on, guys. Do you know what we almost did here? Like, yeah, feel good about it.
And
Yeah.
like Trevor Lawrence had a garbage fucking game. He was awful, and they still almost won.
Yep. Absolutely. Lions traveled to Green Bay and beat the Packers 24-14. The Lions just win in whichever way they decide to that day. I swear to
yeah.
God. Jared Goff, 145 yards passing and a touchdown. David Montgomery, 73 yards rushing, 3 catches, 23 yards. Jameer Gibbs, 65 yards rushing and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown. Sam Laporta, 2 catches, 28 yards. Nothing crazy. For the Packers, Jordan Love, 273 yards passing, 1 interception. Josh Jacobs with 95 yards rushing. Jaden Reed had 5 catches, 113 yards, and then a steep drop off to the next one. Christian Watson, 3 for 37. I have been saying all along that the Lions are the cream of the crop in the NFC, at least to this point.
Yep. Yep.
They're the
I
cream
don't.
of the crop
I'm
in
not
the
taking
league.
anything away from the Packers for being a good team when I say that. It's just I think the Lions,
Yeah.
even without Aiden Hutchinson, they
Yeah,
are playing
yeah.
so well right now.
Could we, if the Lions won the Super Bowl and it wasn't versus your team, would anyone be mad?
I would be so pumped, actually.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like it.
Wait, are you saying would I be mad if the Broncos made the Super Bowl this year?
No, I'm saying
Absolutely not.
if the Lions won the Super Bowl and it wasn't a consequential game,
Like-
we'd collectively be happy.
So
right?
so our teams are not making the Super Bowl this year. So that'd be
Right.
amazing.
Our teams are not making the Super Bowl
So-
this year.
So I
We
was
can
about.
all agree on that.
So I was
I
about to
think the
say.
question is to yourself.
The Bills are not making the Super Bowl.
You said earlier today they were.
Yeah, but
You
that
literally
was
did.
delusional.
I have
The
text evidence.
Super Bowl, but no, like if the
Oh, those the Campbell's Soupy Bowl.
Oh,
not the
Josh
Super
Allen's
Bowl.
going to be the commercial during
commercial.
the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh.
Bills are not making
That makes
But I
more
mean, no,
sense.
because like, kind of like I'm a default Bills fan because I like to support lovable losers. I am a default Lions fan because they have struggled for so fucking long, and the team that he is putting together that. Because everyone fucking hated when they made him the coach. They're like, you can't have a former player, blah, blah,
no one
blah.
thought Jared Goff was going to
And
do
like,
shit for
and
him.
then, and like, no, fuck you guys. Who says we have to follow these
And
preconceived
Jared
notions
Goff
of what
had
makes
a
a good team,
renaissance. Yeah.
Fucking love, I would love it if they won the Super
Having the
Bowl.
best offensive line in the league doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that helps.
No.
I,
Drafting one of the best fucking safeties doesn't fucking hurt, you know?
to jump back to the Packers real quick. I was about to say I would hate to be the team that plays the Packers next week, and then I looked it up.
It's the bye week and then the Bears.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good thing there's a bye week because they're. I would imagine they're a little bit hot, but
But I also like that, like...
they got a fucking great schedule ahead of them though. They play
do.
Bears, they play the 49ers, the Dolphins, get the Lions again, Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, Bears. This is a fun. When I say great, I mean like there's a lot of fun games to watch in this.
Yeah.
Should
And
be.
they're like this is crazy.
So my favorite thing about
Nothing
that
is a given.
that the Bears-Packers game to end the season has not been announced yet. They're saving that for one of those sweet flex ones, which I love, because it could be a really important
Yep.
game.
Yes, it could. And maybe that 2022 thing might come around because in 2022 the Lions beat the Packers in the last game of the season that we watched back when we were
Yep.
calling the game
Yep.
on
Yep.
Twitch and watched them deny the Packers a chance of the playoffs. All right, the last of the afternoon games, the Rams traveled to Seattle for one of the games of the day. This was a great
Fuck,
game.
that was a great game.
The Rams won 26-20 in overtime. Matthew Stafford, 298 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, interception. Kyron Williams, 69 yards rushing. He didn't get a touchdown. I can't even imagine how that's possible. I thought he did that every game.
Yeah, right.
Cooper Kupp, 11 catches for 104 yards. Robinson, 6 catches, 94 yards, and 2 huge touchdowns, including the game-winning one. Puka Nakua, thanks, bud. My
Yeah.
fantasy team really appreciated you throwing a punch and getting kicked out of that game.
A weak-ass bitch punch,
Yeah,
too.
terrible.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, he was doing his best to be Jameis Winston in his last year with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had 363 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And 3 interceptions. Walker, 83 yards rushing. Jackson Smith and Jigba, first gigantic game of his career, 7 catches, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Tyler Lockett, old hot Lockett, 3 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. The Seahawks played really hard in this, but when the Rams actually have Cooper Kupp to go with Stafford,
Yep.
and Robinson is playing great as the second wideout.
Yeah. Yeah.
The NFC West is wide open. I know the 49ers are playing better now, but the Cardinals won today.
Record-wise,
The
there's-
Rams
it is
are
wide
at
open.
500 now.
Yep.
You missed one of the top plays of the game, and that would be when Cameron Kinchins, his pick 6 for 103 yards. You just gotta love that kind of football, man.
Absolutely.
That's so good. Those guys, their legs are just burned out. They gotta sit down for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, and there wasn't any DK Metcalf to hawk him down.
Exactly. Jesus.
All right, so that was all of today's games and Thursday night's game. Currently, the Vikings and the Colts are trading turnovers, but that's a really good chance for us to get into Scotty Stats on FL.
The old
Could I-
NFL.
Can I slide in before you do NFL, please?
Oh.
Squeak Streaks. This will be the last primetime game we see Joe Flacco play. I have other stuff, but it was food for thought. I want to throw that at you boys.
So you're saying this is a streak for that in perpetuity over the season.
In perpetuity. He will never
Okay.
play another primetime game moving forward. Just mull it over
And by prime time you mean
Sunday night or Monday night.
okay.
What
Take
about
it
Thursday
over.
night?
What about
That's a
Thursday
tough
night,
one.
man?
That's not
I
prime.
mean, like the schedule. I don't
It's
know.
prime time.
All right, but so Scott, go ahead with NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the NFL, things happen outside the NFL, and we're here to report on what's maybe somewhat interesting. While I get set up for this, I do want to call out this delicious blended whiskey, bourbon, and Armagnac. It's called Hogsworth.
Is there
It's-
a name for that?
No,
When it's
no,
mixed with so many odd things?
nope. It's just a. I mean, it's
Amalgamation.
a blended spirit. Yeah.
Oh,
No, Hogsworth is the guy that started WhistlePig. His name's Raj Bhakta. He sold WhistlePig for, I don't know, $1 gajillion, and then went and bought a farm in France, an Armagnac. Grow grapes and distill them into delicious tasting brandies. And he's blending like this super old stuff with this has got like a mix of a 41-year-old Armagnac in there. It's super interesting, cool. If you're a bourbon purist, it's not for you. But those extra little cognac things are pretty nice. So
It's very unique.
yeah. So Raj Bhakta, send the check. Anyways, all right. So we are at the end of the MLB season. The Dodgers embarrassed the Yankees. And in the most LA thing possible during the celebratory parade through LA, the buses got stuck in traffic. Good for you, LA.
That's amazing.
In the NBA, Vince Carter got his jersey
Yes.
retired in Toronto. Not only is it well deserved, he's just one of the.
This is the first, right?
Is it? I don't.
I believe he's the first retired jersey in Toronto. Yeah.
But actually, just seeing him out on the court, tears streaming down his face, fist pumping, let's go, so good. Just you gotta love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love that guy. And he didn't go out on top.
No,
He was in the league
did
for a
not.
long, long time.
Did he ever even win a championship?
But I don't know that he won a
Can?
championship.
No, I don't
But
think
he,
Ah!
as he went down, he seemed
That's
to
what you
embrace
said.
his role as I am a supporting player, and to the point where it's like I'm not even just a supporting player. I'm a locker room guy. I'm here to help out the young talent.
Right.
You got to respect that so
Right.
much.
And that's
so
why
much.
you like
Especially when it's
LeBron
like
so
20th
much.
and 21st season, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's a great thing to be an ambassador for the game moving
Yep.
forward, to teach the younger players how to play.
Right.
Yeah,
And like when you have an
absolutely.
expansion team like the Raptors, like you're trying to have Canadian basketball,
All-
and you have Vince Carter that you fucking luck into in the draft. Like not a top pick, he wasn't the first pick. It was like, he turned into the perfect ambassador for a
yeah.
franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
all
you know?
things LeBron did.
Oh my god.
Let's leave it alone.
It's too early.
Leave
Too
it alone.
early. Yeah.
That man lives rent free in your head, and you need to stop letting him.
Yeah.
I know.
It's sad. It really is.
I know.
I've never been mind raped by the same guy so often.
Speaking of
Jesus,
LeBron,
Eric.
though, did you know it took him 16 seasons to score his first basket with the Lakers? And Bronny did it in just 5
Oh,
games.
Bronny is so much better.
So much better, obviously.
I know he's your favorite player. I'll get you a jersey. Don't worry.
So
I'll make sure it's a Bronny James one though. You don't
yeah.
You don't
James-
merit your favorite player of all
a James
time.
a James
LeBron.
Jr. Yeah. Well, anyway, so speaking of basketball players that could probably use some mentorship of Vince Carter, John Morant is back this season. I'm hoping his
Nope.
head is on straight.
No,
Can I
because-
say real fast? He made some of the most beautiful passes I have seen in a long time in one of the games last week.
Well,
sitting on his ass and lobbing
that's
it.
it's exactly what I wanted to call out.
fantastic.
Here he
Oh
is,
my God, he's good.
he's on his ass on the 3-point line, 3 defenders around him, just the sweetest lob for an alley oop
Pass
you've
me the
ever
yellow
seen.
pocket knife, please.
This kid is so talented. He's just a walking highlight reel, and
Oh, it's here. I lost it. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. And just to like have him back and be able to watch what he does on the court is a real treasure.
I hope he has gotten his head on straight because he
yes.
did some
Yeah.
dumb shit.
Absolutely. All right. Someone who does have his head on straight is an absolute workaholic and has just joined some serious elite company. Brian is thrilled to talk about Victor Wembanyama, who joined.
Who's that?
He's this super small.
Oh, that short, heavy guy.
Yeah.
5'2", 380.
He just joined the 5x5
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is a rare feat.
It's funny because like it's Jamal Tinsley in 2001 was the first rookie to join the 5x5. That name doesn't ring much with me at all. Everyone else in
played for the Pacers, didn't he?
everyone else, I think so. Everyone else in the 5x5 club
He
is.
had one game in the 5x5.
There's not many with multiples.
Yes.
There's not many with multiples. Wait,
thought-
who are you talking about?
I thought Wimby was like the 5th to get 5.
Wait,
Like
no.
5x5 games.
No. This is his first 5x5 game.
First?
Yeah. So if you don't know, that's 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. He's the second player to have 5 blocks and 5 steals in consecutive games. The one person who's done that prior, Michael Jordan.
Pretty good
They
company.
were the reporters asked him, what do you think about that? Matching one of Jordan's feats, and he said, "I wonder if he did it in a game that he won, because it's
Yep.
yeah, you got it.
Yep.
This kid is just is ahead of his years. But no,
And
like
he's got that Spurs mindset. He's got that
Yeah.
SA mindset
yeah,
too. I love it. you
So he also did it in the fewest amount of minutes at 31 minutes. But I wanted to bring up the 5x5 club in terms of who some of these people are. I'm sure you've heard of them, but there's very few people that have done it. The first person, Dr. J, then George Gervin, then
The
Dr.
Iceman.
J, and then Olajuwon did it the next 3 times, then David Robinson, Derek Coleman, and then Olajuwon 3 more times. And that was all in
That boy was
one
good.
season.
Yeah.
His 93 season, he did it 3 times.
That's when they won. That was their first of
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
And then Vlade Divac and Jamal Tinsley.
Oh, I didn't know Vlade Divac ever did it. That's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Andre
Did it count
Kirilenko.
flops too? Did it count flops too for Vladdy?
Obviously, yeah.
Could we
So he was
expound
a-
He was a
real quick?
5x6.
Yeah.
Batum got it. Draymond Green's got it. Anthony Davis, Yusuf Nurkic, and now Victor Wembanyama. It's a tight club, and it's
What team has 3 players on that list?
oh,
Oh, it's only the Spurs. Oh, okay.
Can I ask Scott a question real quick?
yeah.
I don't know who Vlade Divac is.
What?
He was a European NBA player, played center. He was actually famously he was
Well,
the
I'm
person.
gonna ask Scott a question. And
He was the
answer.
one. He was the
That's
person
very
famously
typical.
traded for Kobe Bryant.
Very unlike Matt. Scott, could you tell me who Vlade Divac is real quick?
That.
I mean, I've never heard of him.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, sure. Okay. No, yeah. He was a.
Have you
I don't
heard
know.
of Manu Ginobili?
Yes.
Vlade Divac was like his mentor.
There we go.
Like
Yep.
actually,
In terms
are we-
of in
are we
terms of the
trolling me?
flop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
terms
That's
of
true.
flop?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Not
the
actually.
LeBron school of basketball.
He's just one of those.
How did you bring it back to LeBron already?
It was, well, Divac was a Laker, but no, he's one of those power forwards centers that just like European that just had great shooting ability. Their defense was solid. Their
But
passing
like
was
mid-range
great.
game because he was.
Yeah,
Okay.
but, yeah,
he
but
he
like
knew
it's-
his role.
Oh yeah. No, good.
Yeah,
good
no,
as player,
like just
so.
it was a genuine question.
Yeah.
All right.
So I decided to title this one little thing "Fuck Around in Philadelphia" about it. I imagine we are going to talk about an incident with Jason Kelsey.
No.
We
At
are
some
right now.
point, so at a game the other day, Jason Kelsey's walking into the stadium, and a fan behind him shouts some pretty vulgar shit at him. Kelsey turns around, grabs the phone out of his hand, smashes it on the ground, and then picks up the phone and walks away. Then the guy comes over, tries to trip him up a little bit, get his phone back. Verbal altercation. Listen, Philadelphia will deliver back. You want to match? Don't match their energy. Just don't do it. Jason Kelsey's. on record as
You're
being one
gonna
of the
lose.
nicest men out there, and you get him worked up like that.
By attacking his brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's not NFL. That's NFL related. So now let's talk
Well,
about.
technically, that was at a college game.
True, fair.
Penn State,
yeah.
Ohio State. It was a
Yeah,
big one.
It was.
That's NFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Joel Embiid also had a bit of a physical altercation. And there's not much that this man does that I am a fan of, except for this moment.
Do much.
He took issue with a recent column where this is a Philadelphia reporter who basically was talking about
You don't bring up dead people.
he was talking about how you know
Okay, Haley Joel Osment.
Joel Embiid says that his motivation for winning comes from his brother that had passed away tragically at 13. He named his son after his brother, right? And then it proceeded to be like, but you got to actually go to work. It was a pretty slimy thing. And then in the locker room, it got a little like as they were interviewing him, he straight up calling him out on it. A little bit of a scuffle and pushed him.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Fuck around in Philadelphia about it.
Yep.
Right?
I'll agree with that.
And if we're still going to talk about scuffles, I think people could use this one particular gentleman. So here we are having a bit of a scuffle on the floor, right? Two players, pushy-shovey. They stand up a little more pushy-shovey. All of the players rush in to get involved, and then one man steps forward, and like Neo stopping bullets in the Matrix, everyone just stops. And that man is Steven Adams. You do not fuck around with Steven Adams. He literally just casually walked forward with his hand out, and everyone's aggression just kind of stopped. Like, okay,
Wait,
hold
really?
on. Yep. Dude, Steven Adams is a terrifyingly strong man. I watched him pick up a player earlier, and like watching a clip. They were wrestling for the ball. The other player was on the ground, and he just like picked him up while he was holding onto the ball, just casually. Didn't lift with his legs all back. Just yeah. And listen, you do not fuck with Steven Adams. It was so funny just to watch him walk forward with his hand out, like, we're stopping this, everyone, and everyone just stopped. Whew. The last thing I wanted to mention was the Ohio State and Penn State game. It was not lightning in a bottle. It was 20-13. It's exactly the kind of game that you want to see if you're a football fan watching the number 3 and the number 4 team. And in conference rivals.
But like
Right?
a real game, not 64-58 shootout. Like,
Right, exactly.
Let's really showcase
Exactly.
talent all across the ball.
Yeah, so here we are. The Big 18 now has Oregon as the number 1 ranked, Ohio State number 3, Penn State number 6, and Indiana number 8.
Do you have the list in front of you?
Of
Where's Notre Dame? Because they have been destroying.
They're
people.
not in the Big Ten.
Oh, just Big Ten. Okay.
well, yeah, I don't. Yep, or I got the AP up here right here. Notre Dame is 10, 7-1.
Right.
They're 10. So
And they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, like the beginning
yeah,
of the
yeah.
season.
And
and been running wrecking
They
crew
will
all
accept
season after
being
that.
part of a conference member in basketball, lacrosse, etc.
yeah.
But football,
Why would they give up
It's a
having
bridge
every
too
one of their
far,
home
yeah.
games televised on NBC and
Yep.
making all that money
Yep,
themselves?
that's a good
They
contract.
will not give that
Yep.
up.
I get what you're saying. It's comical to me that they will join a conference in all of their other sports, but
Well, they have the football contract. That's
Right.
right.
The other sports don't have that contract.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I totally derailed you. I'm
No.
sorry.
That was it. Was just I just really appreciated that. Like, this is the kind of game. Like, it's not. Yeah, like you said, it's not 50-40. Like,
Yeah, it's a
this hard nosed
good game.
football.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten has got some scary teams out there.
The other problem, though, for Penn State is that moving forward, I don't think they play another ranked team, and they haven't beaten a ranked team yet this year. So their standings might
And
take a hit with the people picking
Through
who
no
goes to the
fault of
playoffs.
their own.
It is
Yeah.
what it is, but
Yeah.
you've lost your ranked opponents. You haven't beaten, so
It's wild to me that a Catholic institution would want to make money off of football instead of being pious. Insane.
I thought we were back talking about Ohio State
Yeah.
and Penn State. I didn't know one of them was a Catholic school.
You think religion isn't a business? Come on.
I know it's a business, but oh no, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I know. A Catholic institution taking advantage of young men. Never heard of it.
Oh,
Thank
Never
you.
heard of it.
Wow.
I
Never
wasn't
heard
going
of
to
it.
make the
Unheard
rape
of.
jokes, but
Unheard.
yeah.
Whoa!
whoa! He just. What are you talking about?
Oh, Jesus!
What are you talking, man?
God.
All right.
You jumped way too far ahead there.
Eric
That's-
with his own personal
Oh, yeah,
Catholic
that's-
guilt, letting all that out.
Apparently
Well,
so, man.
That's a way to eke our way to finish NFL. So
Jeez.
I don't know what's next.
So
Ah.
I have something that it is NFL related, but the topic isn't about football. Did you know that the NFL, on average, consumes 80,000 Uncrustables a season?
So not only did I know that, Brian, well, recently when I found out about that, but there was a graphic that was posted about Uncrustables.
Who's
right?
number one?
And it was Denver by like 700 a season.
Isn't
But-
weed legal there?
No, 700 a week.
Or sorry, 700 a week. Sorry, 700 a week.
How do you eat 700 Uncrustables a week?
Well, there's 53 guys on the team.
Yeah.
Including Paxton Swat,
Well, and
77.
they talk about how like you're on the bus and you
That's
know
still 10 a
you
week
get
per
you
person.
get like 3 in you before, you get a couple during halftime, like I spent way too much time looking at how many Uncrustables and trying to find a statistical anything out of what that might mean, and it's just not there. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No.
Like, does it lead to this stat?
No,
Does it
yeah,
lead to-
Grandpa Stanton is rolling over in his grave. That's for sure.
What's funny is there's 8 teams that didn't participate in the survey. So I wonder if it's because they eat more than the Denver Broncos, or they just don't keep track.
Yeah.
Distinct
I'm
possibility.
going to say they eat more. And so there's one of those 8 teams out there eats like 1,200 a week of Uncrustables, you know?
This is Uncrustables adjacent. But
A phrase I thought I'd never hear in my life.
I was listening to an interview with I think it was a defensive coordinator. I can't remember the team. And they were talking about halftime adjustments. And he was saying, like, the adjustments happen in real time when, like, we're in the locker room. You have 90 seconds to adjust the team. Like, it's not, we're sitting down.
Yeah.
We're changing
Is it
X,
because he's
Y,
too
and Z.
busy, like, eating an Uncrustable?
Right. You know what I mean? So it's just, he
Could
was
be.
saying, like,
Yeah.
halftime adjustments are a thing, but it's not.
I'm
Like-
not following how that's Uncrustable adjacent.
Ooh, what if the teams that don't eat Uncrustables and eat actual sandwiches because they spend too much time eating the crusts are the worst teams?
Oh.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if the Panthers don't eat Uncrustables?
David Tepper would never pay for Uncrustables.
He's not springing not springing for that. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Full circle.
Just the worst. Actually, let's go with Squeak Streaks first, and then we'll do just the worst.
So, part of my...
Well, your last one, you actually got right.
Oh.
I
Ish.
did?
Ish.
Ish. I mean,
It's technically going to happen barring an
You know what
injury.
it is. I don't
barring
know.
an injury,
I know.
it's going to happen. So his last week, and we didn't even think about next week's schedule when he made this pick. He said Anthony Richardson's going to throw for under 180 yards.
Well, he didn't
He
play.
got benched. So
I nailed
technically, unless an injury occurs and he plays, your squeak is still standing.
Okay.
First time you're right in 6 weeks.
Okay. So we have...
It's a hell of an average.
We have the last Flacco primetime game.
Wait, are you doing double squeaks?
No, I'm going to go to...
The Flacco's a big perpetuity one. That's not a weekly.
Oh, that's
so.
in perpetuity.
Yeah,
Okay,
right,
okay.
right.
The other two of these are going to be in perpetuity.
Well, what are you doing here? All right.
All right. So the Steelers are 21-0 on Monday Night Football games. They won't play Monday Night Football until next season. They will continue that streak and be 22-0.
Jeez,
Jesus
really?
fucking Christ,
really?
dude.
You can't make a streak that's a fucking year in the future.
Okay.
You can, but you got to remember it.
Pepperidge Farms, remember.
Daniel
I'm gonna
Jones
type it down.
has thrown his first touchdown at MetLife Stadium in over 3 years.
That somehow sounds impossible.
It does, doesn't it?
It's true, though.
No, I know. I've seen a list of who all has scored more in that stadium than him in the last
Notre
3
Dame
years, and it
has
is
thrown
fucking
for
terrifying.
more touchdowns than the Jets or the Giants in the last 3 weeks that they played in MetLife.
I feel like either your picks today were either lazy or you got super high and you thght you were
So
being
lazy.
ultra meta. You're like,
So lazy.
these are my picks.
so lazy.
I'm gonna blow their
Yeah,
minds.
yeah.
Daniel Jones is going to throw for a touchdown again at MetLife
Okay.
this upcoming.
Okay, that one's
Okay.
okay.
The first two, so lazy.
How is he
Yeah.
going to do that in Germany?
No, he said this season, right?
Yeah.
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 No, like the next
Making
home
it-
The
game.
next home game.
A
Next
streak
home
for the
game.
next
Okay.
game.
Next home
Would have
game.
played in fucking
No,
Munich.
we are offering up the
It's a hell of an
worst
arm.
products
This is-
possible. to
This is the worst round of Squeak Streaks I've ever. All right, I got one for next
Oh my
season, one in
God.
perpetuity, and one you're going to have to remember 2 weeks ahead of time.
Before I started.
Why do we do this bit again?
I don't
Hey,
know.
just FYI, 13 people just left the fucking feed. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. No.
which is
All right.
12 more than we usually have.
Just the worst. Mine is a little mean because it's the team that lost to Texas Tech this weekend. However, we won that game 23-22. Iowa State could have been in a lot better position to keep us from doing that had they made a field goal that they attempted with 5 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We were ahead by 1 point at the time.
Iowa State's ranked, aren't they?
They were ranked number 11.
Woo.
And Tech is definitely ranked, right?
Oh, no. But now we're bowl eligible. But, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to look this up to see it, because the kick went wide right. But it was how spectacularly wide right it went that makes it just the worst. You could have made the goalpost about 4 times wider, and he might have still hit it upright or missed it to the right.
Wow.
If the goalpost covered the entire end zone, probably a guarantee.
Yeah. Like,
It was so goddamn bad.
like he kicked it, and it went straight right. It was like, I was like, did you think you were on the left hash? I don't understand what just happened.
The,
the laces were out.
so
Yeah.
I'm totally blanking on his name. Former player, kicker, or punter, podcaster.
McAfee?
Oh, McAfee.
McAfee.
Yeah, yeah.
He does the thing at the college
Yeah,
game.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Where he gets like every single person that I have ever seen attempt it would have made it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Jason Kelsey's attempt this past week was pretty ugly. He was also doing him wearing his Timberlands, which definitely didn't help. But that was yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iowa
2
State's
attempts, and they
kicker,
were awful.
Just the worst, man. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I have a just the worst, but it's also kind of a just the best.
Okay.
And it's about baseball.
Okay.
Houston?
Yankees fans are never going to
This
be
is-
as bad as Cowboys fans.
This is mine. This is mine, Brian. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
I
Are we
pass-
talking
No, no,
about
no, no, no.
fan
No.
interference?
No. I just love the fact that it has gone total dark on all social media about the Yankees. As soon as that inning happened, not even the end of the game, there was no like, oh, you had a good season, Yankees, good, late season push, blah, blah, blah. After that inning, total darkness. For the fans, just the worst. For me, not a Yankees
know-
fan, love it.
As I have a slight little thing to add, another just the worst to the same to the same series. The Yankees fans that tried to pry the ball away from the Dodger players.
That's what we're talking about.
I thought that was
That's
a
what I was
gimmick.
asking.
Yeah.
no,
That's
no,
what we're talking about,
I
man.
know. But my problem here is that they're not being wrecked on social media or
Yeah, they are.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
like Bartman was.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that was-
Bartman still has not. Bartman was not banned from future Yankees games like those guys.
No,
Bartman-
no, they are.
No, I know. Bartman was not.
Oh,
Like his was kind of like a fuck, I interfered with that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even if you go back and watch, you're like, but did he really?
Yeah.
Like, was Alou actually going to catch
no,
that?
that was excitement, and
Yes.
he recognized it immediately. Like,
yes,
oh fuck,
and he
yeah.
still has not gone back
Yeah.
to a Cub game.
Yeah.
Well,
and
he
these
got-
guys are like,
he got banned.
he did not get banned.
He
Like,
didn't get banned.
Not like
He was
legally.
threatened with bodily injury
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. He got
by
banned.
the fans in Chicago.
Yeah.
And maybe that says more about how much Chicago fans should maybe, as a Bears fan and White Sox and Bulls and Blackhawks fan, I'll say, maybe we need to tamper shit down a bit, guys. It's a game. But, like, I still think, like, those guys I don't think are getting treated nearly as badly as Bartman did. And I think that's kind of a shame.
Right, like, but Bartman
For
went into-
Bartman, not so much that
Yeah.
these guys
Oh,
are not
yeah,
being
yeah.
threatened.
Oh, yeah,
Bartman went into hiding, and
That's
these
what I'm
guys are
saying.
getting celebrated.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's my issue. Like, I'm not opposed to the fact that they're not being threatened with death.
I didn't.
I just
didn't
think, like, let's take a step back and be like, hey, Bartman, like, Why don't you come sit like in the outfield bleachers? Just watch a game. We know you love
I
the
haven't-
Cubs, man.
I haven't seen- wait, they're
Bartman was such
getting
a wholesome
celebrated?
dude. Like
He's
watched-
listening to the call
He
on
listened
it.
to all
and-
the games. Like he was a season ticket holder. Like he fucking lived with his mom. He was in his 30s. He was like, I fucking love the Cubs, and he got ostracized so hard. And these Yankees guys did what they did, and like the Bronx was going wonderful.
Who's
No,
cheering
who's
them
cheering?
on?
No. He's
I have
banned from the
not-
stadium.
no, I
They're-
understand
They're
the
still in
team.
conversations to ban them from every major league
No,
stadium.
I understand
you know?
that. The team is upset. It's the fans of the Yankees.
I
I have not heard being upset about it
I have.
at all.
Oh, I have.
That's what I'm getting at.
I
Matty.
have.
I'm in agreement.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'm hearing about is
I've heard
literally
complaints about your players not playing well. I've not heard a lot of complaints about those fans in particular.
I have.
I
yeah,
have,
yeah,
yeah.
No, listen. Judge is getting trashed. For
Deservedly.
his and but also those guys are getting trashed. And when you watch the clip, rightfully so,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they were wrestling it out
It
of his
wasn't
closed
excitement.
glove.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bartman,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can say, I'm sorry, he was excited.
He was
kind of-
excited. It's
and again,
obvious.
I don't
Yeah.
think it would have been caught anyway.
No.
But those guys, like, that was drunken assholery.
Yeah, yeah.
Assholery. I don't
Yeah.
even know what word to use
Yeah.
there. Like,
No, I was gonna look up their names, and I'm like, nope, I don't even want to say their names out
Yep,
loud.
yep.
No,
Nope,
but just like-
piece of shit.
Like,
Just
think
the
of-
worst.
If you're next to Matt at a Sox game, you've had too many beers, a foul ball's coming over, you're like,
please specify White Sox.
Oh, you're the ones about the other 3 tickets.
you know what I mean? Like, you're I'm like, get out there, buddy. Go get that thing.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
Wait, if you went to a Sox game and you did that, they might actually ask you to join the team.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, could you be anywhere? If you caught the ball, you're already better than half of them.
You got that dog in you, fighting for it. So
Yeah, that team quit until they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have the worst record ever. Let's try really hard." Fuck, we lost.
No, but like I was in foul ball territory with Christy in July, and I was just like, I'll go for the ball. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Also-
You go for the ball.
for the ball. You don't assault a player.
Yeah.
Listen, one other just the worst. If any fan out there could maybe send a message, leave a review, and say something to have on your phone so you don't drop it 95 times in a 24-hour span, our producer, the Skunk Hunter, would really appreciate it. I don't know how that phone is in one piece still.
I know how to solve the problem. You get one of them fucking chain wallet cases.
Yeah.
But only a 4-inch chain. You can't get a full
Yeah.
chain. It's
Also,
gotta be a 4-inch
you can also
chain.
just not be on your phone during the show.
That'd be pretty useful.
He could tie a tampon to it. Leave the string in and tie it to your phone.
Yeah.
That way you can keep it in there and be
could do
protected. Yeah.
All right, any other just the worst?
That's enough.
All right, let's get into
kickers.
wide right.
Hey,
That was a very Bills-ish kick.
compared to college football, that was so fucking close.
That was so close. You could have moved that, I don't know, another like fucking 20 yards to the right, and it still wouldn't have been as bad as that Iowa State kick. Holy shit. All right, let's get into next week's predictions. I do want to point out, real quick. Actually, no, you know what? Let's start out with Thursday's game. We'll go from there.
Well, before this week's games, Maddie and Scott are currently tied with 74 correct picks apiece. I'm
All right.
at 72 and Eric's at 67.
He doesn't know ball.
No.
But the Thursday game should be a great fucking Thursday game. Bengals go to the Ravens.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
If
That
the
could be a
Bengals
toss-up.
played like they played today, fuck, that could be a great game.
If their
Yeah.
defense plays like it has for most of the season, Lamar Jackson might have another perfect rating game.
You good?
And Derrick Henry
have
might
five.
have another 120,
Oh.
their 40-yard rushing and
You
2
mean
touchdowns.
Derrick Henry getting his 100th touchdown?
Oh, yeah.
That's so nice. Good for him.
Let's say him get 102.
There we go.
Is he top 5 all time, you think, running back was? Or like top 10?
Tutties?
No, I mean, just as a running back.
Oh,
Matt,
in general.
Could
Oh,
I?
yeah.
I think that's really sorry, Eric. I think that's a really tough one because there were so many good running backs in the earlier years because it was such a running back heavy.
I bet
Yeah.
he could have stood out in those years, too.
But if you're talking about from 2000 on, there's no doubt that he isn't 1 or 2.
Top 10 touchdowns, I think Jim Brown is the only one, like, pre-90s.
All right,
I
so
think.
Matt, I would like
Oh,
to
that's
throw
look
this
it
at
up.
you. I talked to Scott about this the other night. I think Derrick Henry is the last Hall of Fame running back of all time.
No, I vehemently disagree. There will be another one.
The way the game is morphing?
There will be another
The
one.
average career
I
span
hope
of
so.
a running back is 3 years. Derrick Henry has
Okay,
10,000
first of all,
yards. The next closest guy
the
is
average
4,000 yards.
career span of an NFL player is less than 3 years. So
Well, okay, you take Lyman out of that equation, though. It
Name a
goes way
running
the
back
fuck
right
up.
now
Yeah.
that you think is a Hall of Fame running back
Right now,
outside of Derrick Henry.
Christian McCaffrey stays healthy for a couple more years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, name another one.
Okay, so naming one wasn't enough. Hall of Fame players don't grow on fucking trees.
Not
Eric.
Hall of Very Good. Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about just.
Okay, so you got one other guy. Who else are you going with?
You'd
Hall
have
of
to give me
Fame
some
running
time because I would have to go through the names of who's in the league right now. I do think Marshawn Lynch deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's not.
And will be.
He's not
He
eligible
will
yet.
Be. He will be. Yeah.
I'm saying, but like, it's not an out of bounds.
I
thing
think
to
it
say
is.
to
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm not willing to say that there will never be another, unless you're going to say punter in the Hall of Fame, or maybe kick returner in the Hall of Fame. Because at this point, there's not enough kickoff returns to make it
Right, but
legitimately
if we're just
possible.
talking stats, Christian McCaffrey is like 5,000 yards fewer than Derrick Henry.
That's fair, but he also has a far different game.
Yeah.
He's also not healthy.
And
You-
if you add his
you
wide
don't
receiver,
get-
his receiving
That's what I'm
yards
saying.
in,
You
it's
don't
a
get
totally
voted in the
different
Hall
thing.
because of that one stat line. Like,
No.
if you're a multi-talented positional player like Christian McCaffrey, you're going to get in because of the impact you had on the game.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's going to increase. You're going to see running backs that they're never going to have the yardage that they used to. But more and more running backs are also receiving backs.
I would say
you know?
Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record is probably unattainable unless
Yeah.
something very strange
because of
happens
the
in
Cowboys'
future.
offensive line.
Well, that
for
that
sure.
too.
Well,
but
there's that. There's also the fact that
the way the
it's
game
more
is
of a
played
running back
now.
by committee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking at
Yeah,
looking at this
okay.
one list of top NFL
For the entire
running backs.
Cowboys dynasty, who was the backup running back for the Cowboys? We didn't fucking know because it was only Emmitt Smith. You
Yeah.
know, did they have it on the roster? Of course they did. You know,
Yeah.
if you pull up his name, like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember that name because there was no more than one running back. That was also a fullback heavy kind of league.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
So-
I just outside of Christian McCaffrey, like, there's no running back that is so good where you're like, that guy is for sure going in.
So I pulled up, this is NFL.com for whoever put this together, but for their
Hopefully the
25,
NFL.
25 greatest. And with some of them, you know, there's a point where it's like, when you say Gale Sayers, under 5,000 rushing yards and 39 rushing touchdowns.
very short career.
Short career.
Yep.
You put Bo Jackson up there, not even 3,000 rushing yards and 16 touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Jim Harbaugh has more rushing
and-
yards.
but like it's so like you can recognize those things, but then you got like a LaDainian Tomlinson.
Hall of Fame.
My God,
Yeah.
like
He's already
you
in
know,
it.
13-6 and 145 touchdowns.
Yep.
I mean, Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders, Earl Campbell. Derrick Henry has better stats than Earl Campbell.
And we don't know who's coming
Tony
up.
Dorsett, he's got fewer yards, but more
What
touchdowns.
will this Ashton Jonty guy do in the NFL? We
No,
don't know yet. There's
Jesus
there's
Christ.
guys
4
that
years.
will come
Yeah.
in the future that will be excellent Hall of Fame level running backs. Will they put up 16,000 yards? Probably not. But the emphasis on being able to catch the ball and be a third down back and pass block
Yep.
will still be something that grows and grows with the amount of passing that's in the game. And that is where you're going to start seeing the Hall of Fame running backs kind of change and probably have more of like Roger Craig numbers, to be quite honest, or Ricky Waters numbers.
Like I could see like if Joe Mixon finishes strong, he could be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you what, but looking at like, I feel like he could be considered a top 10. Looking at just like some of these guys on this list, John Riggins, he's almost at John Riggins' stats. You know, he's like, and he's
Oh,
like,
he's gonna pass him this year.
He's above
Yeah.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
You know, he's above Marion
You shut your
Motley. Like,
mouth.
you know,
You leave my Broncos alone.
he's above
All they have
Larry
left is
Zonka.
history.
You know, like he's above Jim Taylor. So he there's
Yeah.
a good chance that he deserves to be a top 10 of all time. Absolutely.
I think that as the game shifts, the way that people vote will shift as well.
I think that's always,
You know?
because that's the other dynamic that will change is the sports writers will start having to look at the running back as a true three down position and not just how many yards did they get rushing.
Yep. Like, if you take a really close look at someone like Clinton Portis, I can see an argument for him to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Does he
Well, was
belong
on
there?
a
I don't
shit
know.
team, too.
But also he put up amazing numbers
I mean,
on some
Frank-
shitty
Frank
ass fucking
Gore.
teams. You know, Frank
Frank
Gore.
Gore.
Frank,
yeah.
okay,
You know?
Frank Gore was a dog.
Yep.
Like
And
he-
availability is an ability.
He played till almost he was 40, and he is he was just.
If he'd stuck around for 2 more years, he'd have been in the league the same league that his son is in right now.
No shit.
Do you guys remember
That's
the running?
mind-boggling from an
Curtis
NFL
Samuel.
perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frank Gore gives Curtis Samuel vibes. Like, just played forever, stayed healthy.
Curtis Martin?
Curtis Martin, thank you.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Curtis
Curtis
Samuel
Martin
as
played
well.
on better teams, though.
But yeah.
So,
Curtis
all right.
Martin. All right.
I'm picking the Ravens over the Bengals.
Oh yeah, that's how it started.
Good,
Yeah,
good
sorry.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Good content, boys.
But I love it. I love it. It was a good conversation.
I'm going Ravens,
I'm
too.
also going Ravens.
Put me down for the Ravens.
I don't believe the
Matt
Bengals.
doesn't know running
I don't believe the
backs. Put me
Bengals
down for the Ravens.
are quite there yet, but I hope it is a barn burner of a Thursday night. We need a good Thursday night
If the
game.
Bengals can pull out a win, that'd be a fucking amazing game.
And now, our gift to the Germans.
Yep.
The Giants take on the Panthers in Munich. Listen, the Giants' defense is very good. The Panthers.
I mean, Panthers hot off a win.
They are. Yep.
Hot off a win.
They still lack talent at almost every position. And the Giants, I think Malik Neighbors is great. I like Tyrone Tracy a lot in this game going against the Panthers' rush defense. I like Devin Singletary as a backup against this rush defense. I love the pass rush and just overall defensive line of the Giants. I like their secondary against Deontay Johnson's not even on this fucking team anymore. Leggett was banged up today. Adam Thielen's been on the IR. I think the Giants win this one pretty handily.
Say if after all that you pick the Panthers,
Like,
I'm
are you
gonna-
still
I thought about it. Just
I'm going to
fuck
burn you with my
you.
cigar.
I already put G-Men across the board.
Yeah. Oh, Eric's thinking
Wild
otherwise.
pick for the Panthers? Oh, shit.
They're frisky.
Well, I mean, nothing blows up in your face like picking the Saints against the Panthers today did for you.
Yeah.
Well, and friendly reminder, that is a 9:30 a.m. game. Don't forget about set your fantasy lineup. All right. The Falcons go to the Saints.
Falcons. I don't even know how we can really discuss that one.
Yeah.
I mean, can Kamara put up some numbers? Yes, but the rest of that team is,
If
especially if
Kamara
Olave's
puts
not
up
playing.
There's no way Olave's
300
coming back.
yards combined.
Olave's
maybe.
his hit was so
Shaheed's
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fucking
This is
way.
his second concussion of the season for Olave. He needs more than a week.
Absolutely, and also like his 4th or 5th of his career already.
Yep.
He's a very talented wide
He's
receiver, but
young,
he has gotten a
too.
lot of concussions.
And it's scary. Like, it's
No,
genuinely
it
scary.
absolutely is. It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
You cannot actually measure the healing. They have the test, but it's not like X-rays and bones
Yeah.
healing and
Yeah.
And there's not like things they can do to like, oh, you got a concussion? Well, here, take this shot.
exactly.
And it makes your brain
It's-
better. That doesn't exist yet. you know?
Imagine being under 30 and having a medical professional tell you, like, you've been concussed this many times. Like, we got to talk about your longevity and, like, your health going forward. Same thing with Tua.
Yeah?
Yeah, Tua, I
Yeah.
cannot believe is playing again. I thought he should have retired, and I don't say that because I want the Dolphins to be bad. I genuinely worry about his future.
I don't want.
then he had the
I don't
best
want
game of
Tua
the season.
to retire, but it's just like you've made generational wealth. Like, you have to think about your life going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, like I remember. Sometimes I think the coaches need to step in because I believe it was Ryan Clark wanted to play a game in Denver, but he has. I think he had sickle cell anemia, something where it was a risk because of a natural health issue.
yeah.
And Mike Tomlin was like, "You're not playing," and he's like, he just said he got his manager, like his agent, and everybody came together to go to Tomlin. Tomlin's like, man, if you were my son, I wouldn't even be having this conversation. I'm only having this conversation because you are a player we pay. You're not playing. I could not look at your parents in the eye and say, yes, I put your son out on that field and put his health at risk more than it already is.
And he got so much shit until the full story came out. They're like,
Yes.
fuck, okay, yeah, good on you. Yeah, good job,
Absolutely.
coach, you
It was
know?
the right move,
Yeah.
and it would still be in my mind for the Dolphins to be like, listen, yeah, we're going to suck, Tua. You got to retire, man.
Yep.
Anyway.
Bills are going to Indy.
Bills.
You're confident about this one.
Yeah.
So I agree, but I gotta say, as we're watching Indy right now play the
Pretty
Vikings.
tough against the Vikings.
They're playing really tough against the Vikings right
Keep in
now.
mind, though, the Vikings are the last team to start a season 5-0 and miss the playoffs.
Yep. Might have it
Yeah,
again.
they're doing a great job of
History
keeping
does
that
like to
streak
repeat
going.
itself in weird ways.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But yeah, Bills. Oh, wow.
Oh, as we praise the Colts
Yeah.
Wow.
in like a standard field goal too. Oh. All right, so Bills across the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Broncos go to Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
You know what sucks about that is that I'd really like to see the Broncos get their defense back on track. I think they can hold the. I think they can hold them to like 14, but I don't know how the Broncos score against Kansas City. That's the problem. It's rough.
I also think DeAndre Hopkins, another week in the system, learning tendencies from Mahomes and everything else. I think that he's going to start having more and more of an impact. Obviously, he's a professional. He's a fucking veteran.
Oh, yeah,
he is
yeah.
good. I think he's going to have more of an impact moving forward. So I'm sorry, Brian. I don't see how the Broncos.
You don't have to apologize.
So, Matt knows this. I don't know if the rest of you guys know this, but Mahomes is leading the league in interceptions this year.
I don't know if you know this, but every media outlet in the country has shown those stats. You don't need to tell us stuff that we don't know or that we do know.
I'm gonna
Like, it's-
slash his tires.
yeah.
But
In fact, I had a bet with Brian that
so
you
that
would
was the
mention
best part.
Patrick Mahomes
No, no,
within
no.
like 2 seconds of me saying Josh Allen threw his second interception of the season.
first,
The best part is
Second.
that he
week.
preempted it.
Yes.
he's not having a good year, and they still are just like the.
You're the one who
Death Star
you're the one who
come-
called him the best in the league.
You are.
You said it earlier.
Yeah, he is.
Listen, no matter how bad his season is right now, if there was 45 seconds left on the clock and you need a touchdown to win the game, are you betting against him?
No.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because that defense is going to keep them in the games regardless.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
defense is so good.
And they're
so
Chris
good.
Jones.
He's a beast.
I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but like I thought Aaron Donald was like the best defensive tackle I'd ever see. And Chris Jones might be right there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Yeah, he might be.
incredible.
Maybe not as good at getting the sacks, but his run defense is amazing.
Okay, so we know, but Scott didn't know.
I thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Didn't know that stat that Eric's pointed out for the last 3 weeks in a row.
No, it's weird. Yeah.
This is not just an emotional, this is my team. I am picking the
Good,
Broncos.
good.
I believe they're going to hold Kansas City to 14 and squeak out a win.
Okay.
Ooh.
Like, after getting embarrassed this week by a really good team, I also believe the Ravens are, if they played right now, they would demolish Kansas City.
I think so too.
And if they can come back from
Yes.
this awful loss and put their shit back together against a rival in their own fucking division that is not playing well, yeah, they got a shot.
No, I'll be cheering for the Broncos for sure.
I like to hear it, yeah. Viking go to Jacksonville, so Vikings, right?
Cool
I
God.
don't see how you could pick against them, really. I mean, I know that they're not winning right now, but Jacksonville's got problems, man.
Yeah.
And especially at wide receiver. You know, Gabe Davis is injured. They lost Christian Kirk for the season to a broken collarbone. Their Brian Thomas Jr.,
Like
the rookie's
Etienne
been
is up
banged
and
up.
down,
Etienne
you know.
had a ball bounce right off his hands, got intercepted today. He and
Trevor
Tank Bigsby
Lawrence
look
is
bad.
wishy-washy.
No, he had a great game today.
He's
And
wishy-washy,
still,
though.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's put together back-to-back good performances once in his career. Yeah, Vikings, okay.
Yeah.
Put me
The
down for
Pats go to
Jags.
Chicago. You
Well,
want the
it's not a
Jags,
road
really?
game.
I gotta make up ground.
Oh, that's smart.
It's not a road game, so Eberflus has a puncher's chance of winning. I think the Bears do get a win in this game against the Patriots, but it's unfortunately, in my opinion, going to be close. I'm going to call this like a 21-18.
I'm gonna take the Bears, and I think that if the Patriots can find whatever was in them today to keep that fight up, it could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
So
Kind of like Eric's last one. I got to make up ground. I'm going with the Pats.
okay.
Feisty. Frisky.
Because that one, I think, could go either way, you know?
The way the Bears are playing right now, you're not wrong.
Yeah. The Steelers at the Commanders.
Oof.
That's a
Like,
So, I cannot believe I'm going to say this.
Steelers.
Russell Wilson's playing really well right now. And the Steelers' defense is also playing very well
Yeah.
right now. And I think that the Steelers, again, it's going to be a close game. Different reasons. Not because both offenses suck. But I think it's going to be a close game because the Steelers' defense is very good and the Commanders, I did it again. Offense is
racist.
quite good this season. But I'm going to say that the Steelers win this because, and this hurts, because Russell Wilson.
I am gonna go commies. I think it could be a pretty rough game for them, but yeah.
so same logic as Matt. Because of Russell Wilson, I'm going Commanders.
That's fair. He has looked very good the last couple games. I know it sucks.
He's so competent, you wouldn't even.
He's dangerous,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he and George Pickens have a connection.
They-
They do, yeah.
And
yeah.
Pickens is playing really
And
well.
he's playing
Pickens
really
cares
well.
about
Pickens.
existing again. So yeah, it's
All right, Niners at the Bucks.
That's a tough one.
Oh my
It is,
God.
and like not seeing what the Niners could do this week because they had a bye. Like, oh,
Which
that
gives
makes
them a
it
chance to get a
tricky.
little healthy.
It does. I mean, and they need it every
And
week.
Christian
They need
McCaffrey might be
another
back.
week to get
All right.
healthy.
Give me the Niners, but I will be cheering on the Bucks because I'm Team Baker this year.
I would agree with that. I like Baker a lot, but I do think the 49ers pull the win out with this
Hey.
one. I think if McCaffrey comes back and is playing healthy,
The
that changes that offense
the-
completely.
the-
and also, George Kittle.
If Kittle is really healthy,
yeah.
you know,
but the Bucks are down receivers, and that's
Yes.
so.
yeah.
I think
Godwin's
Kate Otten will
out.
put up like 9 catches
Yeah.
for 100 yards and a touchdown probably. But
Yeah.
I'm going Niners too.
Yeah.
Titans at Chargers.
Chargers.
That was fucking fast. Yeah, across the board. Jets at Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I'm going to say Cardinals.
I'm going the fucking Jets.
I'm going with the Jets.
I'm going
with
Jets.
the
Like
Jets.
they seem to really be fucking putting it together.
Jets defense is tough.
Did you know that
Real
Sauce
tough.
Gardner is averaging a 40-point higher quarterback rating? Or has quarterbacks are averaging a 40-point higher quarterback rating against Sauce Gardner than they did in his rookie year. And last year he was allowing a 20-point higher rating than he was in his rookie year. He's gone up that high.
Oof.
I think
That
Kyler Murray,
sucks.
Marvin Harrison, and McBride can do some good things. And Connor, by the way, is having a
Oh
great
my God,
season.
he's having a
Oh,
great
Harrison
season.
had a bad week. I don't see him having back-to-back bad weeks. Oh fuck! I'm changing my pick for the Cards.
Oh, shit.
And
Yeah.
another shank kick. 3 missed
What
kicks
the
in 1.5.
fuck?
That's amazing.
Well, he got closer. He did hit
He
the.
hit the upright this time. That's a good point.
He's failing upward.
Oh.
It was good, and then, you know.
Wouldn't happen to Tyler Bass.
It wouldn't.
It's already happened to him.
It happens repeatedly.
Eagles at Dallas.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Give me
until,
Eagles.
Until Dallas's defense gets healthy, and especially, I mean, Cooper Rush played well coming into the game for Dak. I'm sorry if they're just
He
preparing
didn't play
for
well.
Cooper
He
Rush.
played just as bad as
Yeah,
Dak.
like, and the Eagles' defense isn't great either. But I think that the Eagles' offense has so
Ooh.
many good weapons, and that Cowboys' defense is so injured right now.
Are you going to call your best friend and tell him you're picking Dallas over the Eagles?
Yeah, I'll tell him.
All right.
I think Jalen Hurts is a fraud.
Oh shit!
Okay,
Like, just on the record.
That's a deep conversation there.
Yeah. We can talk about it later.
The Lions visit the Texans.
Lions.
Lions.
The Texans. I wanted this game to be so much better, and maybe, but
If
like
Nico Collins is actually able to come back, and they have like
Yeah,
him
yeah.
and Tank Dell, that can help a lot.
Yeah.
But right now, the Lions have not shown any weakness yet
Yeah.
this season.
I want to see a fully healthy Texans play a fully healthy Lions.
Yep. And even
Both-
then, I
both.
would still pick the Lions, but it would be a way better
so
match.
fun. Oh,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, Detroit. Miami and the Rams.
Ravens.
Can Miami do what they
Wow.
did today?
Where,
Can
where's
the Rams do what they did
where
today?
is it?
In LA.
In LA.
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 So we got home. We got home advantage for whatever that's worth. Ooh. Yeah, I want to pick the Rams.
I'm picking Miami. I think Tua finally gets some of those throws that with him and Tyreek finally start hitting.
And maybe Waddle gets more than 2 in a tutty.
That'd be pretty nice, yeah.
Put me down for the Rams.
Okay.
Well, now it feels unbalanced. I never like it when just one person picks a team.
Fuck it.
Yeah, but I like Stafford. I'm going.
Yeah,
Rams. Yeah. Bye weeks are Cleveland, Green Bay, Las Vegas, and Seattle. So, some teams got a little breather.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our picks for next week. Fun little side note. Next weekend, the professor and I will be in New York City going to watch David Gilmour, lead guitarist and one of the vocalists for Pink Floyd, play.
Nice.
Really looking forward to that one. Also, listen, Tuesday is big time, guys. Make sure you're watching the news.
Super important.
Make sure you're looking for
Super
any
important.
big things happening. Keep an eye on everything occurring because, God damn it, the NFL trade deadline only happens once a year. And you need to know if anything's happening.
Ropes me in.
Okay? So keep an eye on it and see if your team's making any moves, because god damn it, that's what's important.
Super important.
Super important.
Super, super important
I
on
would
next
say it's
Tuesday.
Super Tuesday. I say it's super important.
Super important trade deadline Tuesday. All right, that is our show for this week. Any last thoughts on this weekend's games, guys?
A
No.
lot of good ones. Only a couple of stinkers.
It really sucks when your team was one of the stinkers. I got to tell you, you know this well.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you
three-
know
I'm
this
sorry,
well too.
3 stinkers. No,
Yeah.
No.
The
Giants
Giants
were-
game was not a stinker.
Giants wasn't a
game.
stinker,
That's a
but
good
yeah.
point. We know.
The Raiders game, the Broncos game, the Bears,
Bears
game.
game,
Those
yeah.
were stinkers.
Yeah.
You know.
Building off
I took the cake, you know, but
Yeah, well, yeah.
building off Matt, one way or another, talking about Tuesday, I hope you guys vote, regardless of
boo
Boo
politics.
politics.
yeah.
NFL trade deadline.
Go football.
I'm with you, fellers. All right, I am Matty Fax. Scotty Stats to my left, the professor to my right. Up Greg actually wandered in during the middle of the show. He's over there.
Up
And the
Greg.
great Skunk Hunter. We will be back next Sunday. Brian and I will just be talking constantly about how great David Gilmour was.
Oh, I did have something else to add.
Oh, okay.
So Eric isn't really a producer.
No.
So I was trying to think of, okay, what's the role that he would play? And I was like, well, from time to time, he will bring a bag of chips. That's like craft services, right? Mm-hmm. But then I was like, no, but Greg, from time to time,
Brings
will
beer.
stock my entire beer fridge. So Greg is craft services. What the fuck is your role?
That's cheap.
He's not the best color guy in the game for nothing.
I can't even mooch off you anymore?
Oh, you're part of our posse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sir,
okay,
cell
okay.
phones will not break themselves without him around.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we are After This Is Live. Thank you very much for checking us out. If you could, please give us a like, give us a follow, hit subscribe, whatever you're doing. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, leave a review. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Join us on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. We'd love
And
to have you
listen
in
to
there.
Straight Facts Homie.
Yes. Straight Facts, homie. It's a Half the Distance Live production. If you listen this week, you got to hear me bash the Bears and call out 3 teams for having must-win games.
Yep.
The Bengals got theirs.
Yep. Yeah, they
The
sure
Bears
did.
and the Cowboys did not.
Nope.
So, good luck moving forward to those 2 teams. And holy shit, I cannot believe my Bears are already breaking my heart. Oh, wait, they're the Bears. I do know why they are. I was expecting it the whole time. All right, we're After This Is Live. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy Tuesday with the NFL trade deadline, and we will talk to y'all next week.